Dear students, today I am going to start Unit 3, and the first topic is comparative account of heart in vertebrates. So, here we have to study about the heart of the vertebrates. So, during the course of evolution, the other organs are also developed from invertebrate to vertebrate animals, but the earlier heart were only just a tube. Then only two chambers are developed, auricle and ventricle. Then two to three chambers are developed, and from three to four chambers are developed. Now in the higher animals, for example in mammals, we are having four chambered heart. So here we have to see the structure of the hearts of the animal. Now, here the blood vascular system of lower chordate is similar to non-chordates. Lower chordates, keep in mind, is similar to the non-chordates, only in cephalochordates approach the vertebrate type. So, during the course of evolution, slowly, the heart structure is also get developed. Now, embryology and position of the heart we see here. The heart actually specializes a portion of the embryonic blood vessel which becomes S-shaped. So this is only a specialized portion of the blood vessel. In the embryo, the heart arises from the vessels located ventral to the pharynx. Two vessels arise from the mesenchyme in the ventral mesentery and fuse. From then, the heart tissue differentiates. At first, the heart is tubular with veins entering posteriorly and artery leaving anteriorly, and the position of heart undergoes continuous changes with lower to higher vertebrates. So the heart in fishes and amphibians lies immediately posterior to the head, being in close connection with the gills, and in amniotes, means higher one, there is gradual shift to the posterior with the development of lungs and the elongation of the neck. So this is about the embryology and the position of the heart. So in summary, we conclude that here this heart in lower chordates is next to the pharynx, and in fishes amphibians just attached to the gills. So here in the gill, the oxygenation of blood is taking place. So the immediately the oxygenated blood is to supply to the various organs of the body. Now in a higher one, it just slightly shift to the posterior side, nearest to the lungs. So this is in general embryology and position of the heart. Now heart in reptiles. So here we start the heart in reptiles. So here look at the diagram. Before that, just I have told you, the earlier evolutionary heart is just a modification of the blood vessel. It is S-shaped. Only the one auricle, one ventricle, vessels to get in, arteries to get out to supply the blood to the various parts of the body. Now here we start here, heart in the reptile. So it further shows advance from the amphibian one. So where the amphibian heart is of three chambered, two auricles and one ventricle. Keep in mind, two auricles and one ventricle. So ventricle is undivided one. So in that case, the atrium is divided into two portions, and the ventricle also develops a septum which partially divides the ventricle into right and left halves in reptiles. So the amphibia, the ventricle is one, But when we go to the amphibia to reptile, we get a septum in the ventricles. Septum means partition. So because of this septum, the evolutionary evidences of the higher vertebrates that heart is four-chambered, it starts from the reptilian heart. So the highest development of reptilian heart occurs in the crocodile, where the ventricle is completely divided into right and left halls. See here in the diagram, the crocodilian heart. So here heart is completely divided into four chamber. While in case of this chromatin reptile, you will get this three-chambered heart. Sinus venosus pulmonary vein, incomplete ventricular interventricular septum. See here, and this is four-chambered heart is there. So boys, keep in mind, so during the course of development, one auricle, one ventricle, then the auricles divide, then ventricles divide, and the heart becomes from 2 to 3, 3 to 4. Why we need? As per the development of the organs and the circulatory system, we need four-chambered heart, and four-chambered heart keeps the deoxygenated and oxygenated blood separate. That is the main condition here. Now we see the heart in bird. Heart in bird. Aves. See here. This is the heart of bird and mammal. Now the heart of bird is divided into four complete chambers. And there is no intermingling of the blood at any point. So just I have told you that there is no any mixing of the oxygenated and deoxygenated blood in the heart. And same structure is the heart in mammals. So the mammalian heart is also completely four-chambered. It is equal to that of the birds in efficiency with complete separation of the blood. The sinus venosus has entirely disappeared as it has been incorporated into the right ventricle. The atria are quite distensible and are able to handle the extraordinary rush of blood. From the right atrium, the blood is sent through the tricuspid wall to more muscular right ventricle, which sends it to lungs for exchange of gases. So actually one ventricle, one auricle is responsible for sending the deoxygenated blood to the lungs. And from lungs, the oxygenated blood is collected by the veins and supplied to the auricle, then ventricle, and then to the all organs of the body. So in this way, this is the comparative account of heart of the mammal, birds and reptiles and amphibia. Now regarding this evolution, we have to see the next development after heart is the aortic arches. Aortic arches are responsible for the supply of blood to the various organs of the body. So we see the embryonic plan or basic plan of the aortic arches and arterial system in a vertebrate embryo. So here you have to clear with the diagram. See here. Look at very carefully. Basic plan of aortic arches, arterial system of the vertebrate embryo. Dorsal aorta, that is, it comes out from the heart, and then the dorsal aorta, it bifurcates into internal carotid artery, and internal are the external carotid artery, and the mandibular arch, various branches are there because of gills. So gill clips are there in the lower vertebrates. What's the basic plan is there? The branchial arches are there to the gills, where the deoxygenated blood become oxygenated by mixing of the dissolved oxygen from the water, and then comes to the heart and they supply to the various organs of the body. So this is the lower vertebrate plan. And now we come to the aortic arches in reptiles. So we start our study from the vertebrate. So keep in mind, here is the aortic arches in reptiles. So reptilians are fully terrestrial vertebrate in which gills disappear. So earlier plan is gill type, but here no gills are there. So what the invertebrates, lung is there. So what changes they show here? Entire ventral aorta and conus split formally in three trunks, two aortic or systematic and one pulmonary. See here, pulmonary trunk and aortic arteries are there. So dorsal aorta is divided into these two main branches, that is the systemic arch. Okay, now right systemic arch fourth arises from left ventricle carrying oxygenated blood to the carotid arch. See the diagram, right systemic arch. Where is the systemic arch? Arises from the left ventricle and carrying oxygenated blood. Then left systemic arch leads to right ventricle carrying deoxygenated blood. So the auricles are receiving, one auricle receiving oxygenated blood, one auricle receiving deoxygenated blood. And then it goes to the heart and then supplied to the entire body. Okay. Now we switch to the aortic arches in bird and mammals. Though the plan is similarly, slight changes are there here. See the diagram. Students, you have to read very carefully. This topic is slightly hard. In birds, third, fourth, and sixth aortic arches are present. See the diagram. And they follow the general pattern of reptile with some differences and with the complete division of the ventricle into two parts, and the conus arteriosus and ventral aorta have split to two form vessels, that is systemic aorta arising from the left ventricle and pulmonary aorta from the right ventricle. So third aortic arch from the carotids, fourth aortic arch from the systemic on the right side of the body. See here. And in the same thing is in mammal. So what happened in mammal? In mammals also the aortic arches persist and the ventricle is divided completely into two parts. The conus arteriosus and ventral aorta split from two vessels. Okay, just I read this. And the third aortic arch and carotid arch, both aortic arch form the systemic aorta on the left side only, while the right side proximal portions are innominate and right subclavian artery. See here, this is the mammal. So here in the bird and mammals are just a similar one, slight differences there, and the sixth aortic arch from the pulmonary aorta and the ductus arteriosus degenerates, but it persists in the reduced form of left side of the thin ligamentum arteriosum. So here, this is the slight difference you get here in the bird and mammal. So you have to do by heart this topic. This is not so easy. So for that you have to understand the basic plan of aortic arches, the structure of heart, and what aortic arches, the aorta is getting out from the heart and divisions are there. And the divisions are of what? Divisions in the fishes up to the gills. So it is related to gill and heart. But when terrestrial animal comes, that is reptile, birds, mammals, so lung is there. So as per the development of lungs, the divisions are there. So that you have to compare. That is called as comparison of aortic arches. So next time we will see here the structure of fertilized egg of the hen. Okay, thank you.